I didn't have anyone that looked like me, that was doing the things that I wanted to do. Bro, there are so many people that think black people don't camp, black people don't go hiking. That's some white people like.
Every route you've ever climbed in your life, every area, Joshua Tree, how many routes are there? 7,000 routes? And then list off all the other areas in the United States. And then to think that not a single route has been developed by a black woman, it just so clearly illustrates that something is missing.
When I see somebody like Bree developing a route, I just think the tables have turned. What I see is an entire new generation of route developers and first ascensionists that our world has never seen before.
Ready to rock?
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Climbing.
You do this.
As soon as I stepped out for the first ascent, I thought, this is it. Don't f it up. Because if you do, you're not just letting yourself down, you're letting down everyone that looks like you. You've got to do this.
Bree came onto the scene in January of 2019. She was looking to connect with local rock climbers. Somebody mentioned the Texas Lady Crushers, and we connected and clicked immediately. I started Texas Lady Crushers because I noticed there were a lot of women who were super stoked to learn about climbing, but they just didn't know where to start. And I wanted to create an environment that was welcome and supportive and educational so I could get these women on the wall and keep that stoke super high. Bree knows that she does not look like everyone else. She knows she doesn't act like everyone else, and she wears that so confidently and so beautifully. Nice. That's part of what I love about her.
All right, so what do you say? What do you tell me?
Belay on.
Yes, on belay. So whenever you're ready.
Climbing.
Climb on, sister. Have fun.
Bree is truly one of the fiercest allies for justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion that I've ever met.
I think that in general, as a black person, you end up being like this involuntary representative of all black people because there's so few of us in these circles.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And the walls fumbling down. Hey, wake up. Waker, worker. Worker, worker. Good morning. Oh, were you still sleeping?
You're welcome, sweetheart.
My life is crazy. I'm just involved in everything. The green, the blue, and the red, they're all the same angle. What angle is that? On top of being a single mom and trying to bring up these two young black men in America and being a real estate agent.
Hi, Charlotte. This is Bree Jameson. How are you? Yes, there's going to be an open house on Saturday. I have some clients that are interested in the home.
I'm also trying to balance all of that with being a champion for diversity, equity, and inclusion. The only way I am able to juggle everything that I do is by getting outside.
Okay, girl, it's just you and the rock. Woo! Hell yeah!
I love experiencing nature in so many different ways because nature truly saved my life. I grew up in New Orleans, Louisiana. My mom was a nurse and my dad was a thoroughbred trainer. There was a part of me growing up that never quite felt like I fit in. I was kind of always into things that were a little bit different. My most fond memories are of following my dad to the stables and helping him tend to the horses. I remember walking around with my horse and just really having these moments where I felt like I could be myself. I didn't have to worry about being different because when I was in nature, it was just me and nature. There's just something about nature that awakens in you and simultaneously settles all at the same time. I just knew that I was drawn to nature. I knew that I wanted to experience it in the most adventurous and unique ways, but it just felt so unattainable. Like, I remember watching movies growing up and like hearing about people backpacking across Europe. In the back of my head, thinking, Black people don't do that. You never see Black people doing that.
If you want to really simplify the reality of disproportionate use of the outdoors, only 23% of national park users are people of color. The most recent census stated 42% of Americans are people of color. Approximately 3/4 of Americans of color live in what's defined as a nature-deprived area. And when you see that stat and then you compare that to the incredible and very, very multifaceted benefits of being in nature, mental health, physical health, community, engagement with a movement to save the planet, you see why it matters so much. If you have grown up telling yourself a story and being told a story over and over and over again that climbing is a white person thing, it's really hard to push back against that narrative. Why would you think it's possible? How do you even know that it's even an option? It's just a completely false narrative, but it's one we've told ourselves for so long that we start believing it. And the fact that an image, a simple image, can disrupt a story you may have been telling yourself for 15 years or 20 years or 30 years is one of the reasons why representation is so powerful.
From the moment that I graduated high school, I thought I'd join the Marine Corps, I'd go to school, and I'd use what I'd learned to join the Peace Corps. That never happened because my dad got really sick. My dad was my hero. I ended up falling into this oblivion because I didn't want to deal with the fact that my best friend, my dad, was dying. And then I met my ex-husband. He offered a gateway for me to escape. My dad passed away in March. I got married in January. And by February, I found out that I was having twins. None of that was in my plan. I didn't aspire to be a mom or a wife, ever. And so my life very quickly, in a matter of a year, took a complete 180. My ex-husband and I really didn't have anything in common. And I just felt so alone. I just lost myself in changing the trajectory of who I wanted to become. I held on and I stayed in the marriage as long as I could because I didn't want my boys and myself to become a stereotype. I didn't want to be a single Black mom. But I couldn't do it anymore. And I ended up getting divorced. Here I was in my late 20s as a newly divorced single mom of twins. I was trying my best to just coast through, and I was failing epically. I was so lost. I thought that I was such a bad person for not fulfilling who I wanted to be in life. I got to the point where I didn't want to live. I thought that my existence was detrimental to my kids. I was holding on by a thread. Like I was barely hanging on. I was trying everything, inpatient treatment, outpatient treatment. Nothing was working. And then my doctors said, we're sorry to tell you, but you have treatment-resistant depression. Like, what do you do? I didn't know what to do. One of my therapists asked me to remember a moment when I felt happy. Think about a time when you didn't want to die. Where were you? What did you see? What did you feel? I remembered that feeling of calm and acceptance that I felt when I was a kid. And I remember just closing my eyes and feeling the sun on my skin, putting my hands on the ground, and just taking a deep breath and smelling earth and feeling earth. And it sparked something inside of me that I hadn't felt in so long. I wanted that feeling back. I started getting outside as much as I could.
You got it?
Yep.
And I was feeling better. And I was hopeful again. And I was able to be happy again. But I didn't see anyone out there that looked like me. Sometimes we go places and my kids would say, Mom, we're the only black people here.
All right, climbing.
Growing up, I had a hard time fitting in. So I've been used to feeling like there aren't a whole lot of people around that are like me.
Ooh, I don't wanna fall. I hate falling. Climb then.
That has helped me to go into these spaces and be the only person that looks like me. It's not lost on me that other minorities may not have that skill set of being comfortable, not fitting in. Accessibility challenges us to make sure that everyone feels comfortable and welcome in these spaces.
I'm glad y'all can all come out. This is the Inks Ranch. It's a private hunting game ranch. Kind of in the past 3 years, we were able to start a dialogue with the owners and find a way to open up for climbing.
You know, climbing generally has been predominantly white male, but root development is like astronomically more white male.
It's about 1,200 acres of just completely untapped granite, which is pretty rare in Texas. It's probably just about the last place that's like that. What we've tried to do with the Inks Ranch is have a group of climbers come in to participate in the route development who historically have not been involved in route development at all. There's no school that you can go to learn how to bolt the way you can learn how to plumb or, you know, rebuild a carburetor or something like that. There's no trade school for new routing.
What's so cool about Inks Ranch is that it's just incredibly innovative. It's a collaboration between people who have skills and resources and people who have vision and lived experience. And when you bring those things together, you have really incredible results.
Hey, Bree, how are you? Good to see you as well. You ready to rock and roll today?
I am.
The JEDI project really was offered up as, hey, would you like to mentor someone and provide some of your knowledge to kind of the upcoming group? And I jumped on that.
All the hardware.
All the hardware.
Woo.
A wedge bolt with a hanger.
Yep.
2 anchors, we can use those. Probably nothing longer than 10 bolts out there.
Okay, so you want me to chunk all these in here? All right.
Her stoke to just try it stood out to me a lot. She's willing to basically see what's out there and get into an uncomfortable situation, climbing-wise and otherwise. So in that same theme of things white males may not know.
I'm like super adventurous.
Okay.
And we'll jump in any body of water at any time.
Okay.
But I can't get my hair wet if it's flat iron. I'll just be like a banshee. And it's just too much to like maintain in nature. Hey, wait, check that out. Wow.
Oh, wow, yeah.
I feel like that little part would be really cool to climb on.
Oh, yeah, and you're starting to V,
Yeah.
go up.
I see like so many things. I'm so excited.
Let's do it.
It takes a certain amount of vision to see where a good route might be, where it would end, where it would start, if it would traverse, if it would go straight up, et cetera, et cetera.
Right on the corner here, so going up.
Oh,
So do you
nice.
see this, like, if you come
yeah,
over
I didn't
here-
even see that one.
It's to have vision and creativity to see climbing where there isn't necessarily any, which is more difficult than people might give credit.
Play loop looks good. Lock loaded. I am locked. All right, let's check it out. Do you find that, we call them the marginalized groups, what do you see of those things, the barriers that they're running up against?
A lot of minorities face socioeconomic stress, and it's really difficult to focus on recreation when your core needs as a human being aren't being met.
Okay.
If your mom works 2 jobs to care for you and your siblings, then you're probably not going to ask her for extra money to go on a field trip. There are like adults that I take hiking in the city, and they're like in tears afterwards. They're like, I had no clue that this was here. I had no clue that I could feel so much less stress or be so majorly impacted by this. Anyone who wants to experience nature should be able to experience nature without having any obstacles before them. We just clean this out real quick, then we can very easily just hop right there. Okay, cool, let's do it.
Yep, cool.
All right.
After finding the line that you want to bolt, you first have to remove anything that could fall on you or anyone below you as you work.
Okay, ready? Team effort here. Yep.
Yep, there it
Big
is.
rock.
Rock! I just really like that sound.
Sweet.
Then you have to figure out where you want to drill the holes. Then you actually have to go and drill them. Then you have to clean them. Then you have to install them. When minorities see other minorities doing something that they are doing and it has become a norm, there's a comfort in it, there's an acceptance in it, and you feel that you can be yourself. I see it as starting something, kind of like starting a train that isn't gonna stop. And that in and of itself is badass.
What do you think?
It looks good. The light on that's super awesome, and all the bolts look really good.
I'm really happy with the way that it looks. Like, I'm excited to climb this route. Hey, so I was thinking about the name of the route.
Oh yeah, all right.
You know how you've got to like step out on the face?
Mm-hmm.
And it's really uncomfortable to do that because it's super exposed.
Yeah.
In order to send it, you've got to embrace the discomfort. And I was thinking about, like the whole theme of this weekend to kind of really get together and, have like a passing on of the torch, right?
Yeah.
And we've got to have these conversations that cause us to embrace the discomfort. So I just thought that it was
that's awesome.
Really, relevant. So what do you think?
That's like the perfect route name. That's awesome.
I'm ready. I'm so ready.
Let's do it.
This.
After all that work, if you have the time and energy and the weather's on your side, you still have to get that first ascent, because if you don't and someone else does, it's their name that goes into the history books, not yours.
I set out with such hope, with such tenacity. I was like, I'm gonna send this. I was nervous, but I had such hope.
Nice. Smooth.
Clipping.
Nice.
Clipping.
Yep, nice.
I had all these thoughts running through my head. No one like you has ever done this before. What if you don't do it?
Nice.
Clipping.
Yep, good.
What if you don't send it? What if you're not strong enough? What if you're not tall enough? And then I remembered why I was doing it. And I pushed those thoughts away, and I trusted myself the way that everyone else who had believed in me up until that moment trusted me. And I embraced that discomfort that I was feeling, and I just stood up on that tote.
You got it, there you go.
Clipping.
I remember clipping into the anchors and thinking, this is for Xander and Zayden.
Oh yeah. Nice job. I got you.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe I did it. Oh my gosh.
This wasn't just my story. This wasn't my send. This was one for the team. There are people that are gonna come to this crag. They're gonna feel represented and they're gonna feel welcome.
Oh, as soon as I saw her on the top and I was like, yes. I saw her and I was like, yes.
Right?
Got one. She's out here.
When you put up a route, that's yours forever. I can't think of a more powerful way of saying not only are we in this community, but we're defining the direction this community is going in because we're creating the routes of tomorrow.
Come on, Zayden, you got it. Get that foot up. Woohoo! Go, Zayden. I want my kids to be able to grow up, to be able to confidently go into any space and know that they are welcome. And no one's gonna look at them oddly because they're the only Black person on the mountain. Because nature belongs to all of us. Yeah, woohoo! Nice, way to